What's up, everybody? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow man-child Johnny Karlic. And Dave's here.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, Dave decided to join us here for our episode 3. I got that right, finally. It's not
season 3.
Proud of you.
He didn't even drop the season, 3. That's why.
Well, yeah. I usually think in my head
He dropped
3,
the season.
and I usually say season, but I mean episode. Season 7, episode 3, Game of Thrones. We just watched it. We're now talking about it.
Yeah, we are.
And soon you guys will be seeing it on the YouTube channel. And guys, I finally get to wear this shirt, my brand shirt, because I wouldn't wear it. I told Johnny, I'm like, I'm not gonna wear it until Brand shows up in an episode. And he finally shows up, so I get to wear the Rocco's Modern Life as Hodor and Bran. But I want to start this. I just want to get right into it. I want to start with the ending.
Yes.
With what happened at the end, the mic drop between Lady Tyrell and Jaime Lannister. Kind of like my thought was, oh shit, is he gonna tell Cersei what happened? And then Dave goes, no, I don't think he is.
He doesn't seem very
I don't
keen.
think he's gonna.
No. I mean, for me, like when Lady Olenna told him, like, oh yeah, and just so you know, and I want her to know, I was the one who murdered your son. And it was just the look on his face was just like, oh no. And because he let her off the nice way, like it was very much, am I going to die this way? Am I going to die that way? She had all this concern. And he's like, I talked Cersei down from stringing you up, you know,
She
making you
wanted
go through the streets.
Go through the streets and behead you. Then he's like, she wanted to hang you off of the wall of King's Landing.
Yeah, so if Cersei ever found out Lady Olenna was the one responsible for murdering Joffrey,
It's Jaime's fault.
Jamie fucked up.
Yeah. Jaime's fault.
Because she wanted to do some genius way of punishing her.
Cersei
just
seems
like,
to have the punishment down.
Dude,
this is far beyond anything I've read or
the
could
way,
think of in my life.
Going right into that, the way she was like, you know what? You killed my daughter, and da-da-da. And through the whole scene, we're watching it, and in my head, I'm thinking, did they change her lipstick? Like, did she go into her room and just, I'm going to put on pink lipstick for this?
It'll
I'm
look
like,
good for this one.
I'm like, there's something different about her lips. And then she goes over to the daughter, and I'm thinking, I didn't think she was going to die, but I like the whole poison thing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, they're going to make out. She's going to make out with the daughter. I don't know why I think that, but she's going to make out with the daughter.
And she did.
And she did. And it's just great how she's like, you know what? You're going to watch your daughter die. And, if you don't want to eat, we'll force you to eat. Because I want you to see this pretty little face rot to death.
Yeah.
Well, rot after death, basically.
And they're going to keep her alive for the rest of her life to watch that. And, not to mention that, little icing on top of the cake. Oh, make sure the torches are always changed to make it. Great lighting.
So there's always light.
We need great lighting.
Yeah,
There's always lighting in this dungeon.
crossing her just, oh my God.
Jeez.
I mean, that's terrifying. Like, first off, you gotta give her credit for like you killed my daughter via poison kiss. I'm gonna do the same to your daughter. But then she took it so much further by like, you're chained up across from her, just outside of reach. You can't ever hold her. She's going to die.
When they came out to like get each other, and it's like this.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
That close.
Oh,
wow.
Like getting that, like this close, and it's like you can't do shit.
Yeah.
Kind of like how I couldn't do shit.
Having the mountains
when you killed my daughter.
Yeah, and then just the thing of the fact of I could have had her crush the mountain crush your head in. No, that's not good enough.
Would have been too quick. Would have been too quick.
I could have him crush her head in, but she's such a pretty girl.
She played it up too.
Oh man,
like
you're gonna watch her die.
Layering that, she really played up the fact that your daughter's so pretty. She's so pretty.
Do you think she's somehow happier right now in that moment than she
Cersei?
was? Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Than she was like any other time. I'm like, you're getting some weird, sick enjoyment out of this. That like you're almost happier when this is going on than like when your daughter was alive.
Cersei is fucking crazy.
She's losing her mind.
She's cray-cray, Dave. She's what we call cray-cray. Like, I don't even, like, Cersei's the kind of girl where it's like, I'm not going to date her because I'm never going to match the level of crazy that Cersei is.
Well, Lady Olenna brought it up. I mean, she was talking to Jaime and it was like, you do realize, like, what's going on. You realize how out of control your sister is. And she's like, you must truly love her in order to, you know, like, be blind to that or put up with that. I mean, you gotta start wondering, is he starting to get a little afraid?
Yeah, is Jaime? I mean, there are times where I get the whole, like, because even me and you talked about before coming into episode 3, they've kind of Cersei and Jaime have butted heads.
Yeah.
A little bit
But
coming
then
into
tonight
the season.
they got back together. Though.
Tonight they get back together, and
Speaking of that,
that was a great scene. Only in the sense of Jaime's like, no one can see us like this, and Cersei just has that mindset of, I don't give a fuck. I'm the queen.
Yep.
I'll do whatever I want. And then she opens the door, and the girl sees it, and Jaime just leans back like, fuck, fuck. Like, why am I in this situation?
but you know who doesn't give a fuck about that as well? Euron.
Yo, dude, you're like, if we were given show stealers for like individual episodes, Euron's the MVP of this
Barely
episode.
needs screen time.
Dude.
Like, just so impactful.
Like Johnny even said that he leaned over to me. He's like, "Wow, I didn't even think he'd go
that
at
far.
That legit. I
Just
knew it right
blatantly
away.
say. Like, I get it. He keeps hinting at it and everything. I didn't think he was just blatantly gonna say, "Oh, I know you fucked your sister."
Yep. I mean, that's
Basically.
bold.
That was
But
bold.
Again, you're on like his whole character is not bipolar, but he's a psychopath. Like,
Yeah.
And they try to show like his ups and downs on the show, but like he is batshit crazy.
Like even today when he pulls her and he goes, "I'm
perfect
kind of
for
getting
Jamie.
turned on."
right? Like he's dragging
To be
his
honest,
knees,
it's getting me kind of hard.
and it's just
through
like
the
what?
streets on a
Yep.
leash.
That is. He is unique, but he is just the charisma oozing out of him.
Yes.
Do you think? And of course, this is kind of a trick question in it. Do you think that? Like him and Cersei are like really it's if Cersei wins the war, then that's what you got to ask yourself, because the only way they can be together, because like today he goes, there's only one prize I want, and she goes, once I've won the war.
She's just using him.
Once you've helped me win the war, because really, like, even if she wins, she's not going to dish Jaime for Euron.
Right? Like, doesn't he know Cersei? Like, he's going to
Like-
die once he's outlived his usefulness.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't that, like, because I know he's got the whole, like, rivalry with Jaime where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what, your time's done, lad. Your
Hey,
time's done
you want to give
here.
me some tips?
I say I can do something for you that he can't. kind
Does
of
she
thing.
does she like it this way? Does she like it that way? But the other side of this is everything that's going on in Dragonstone.
Yes.
Because
Oh
I
my
was
God.
surprised how they just boom, started the episode, Jon's there. I was like,
Wasting no
what?
time.
I say if this was season like 1, 2, 3, we would have been John's on a boat for the next 5 weeks.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
would have taken like 5 episodes just for him to get there. But no, he comes in, and right away I was a little bit on edge because at first when they're like, hey, mind giving up your weapons? I'm like, okay. Like, I get why he said yes, but at first I'm thinking, okay, I feel a little uneasy. I got to give you my weapons, but you have all these weapons, and if you
Yeah.
want to kill me, I'm
Dragons.
dead. Oh, wait, then you're taking my boat?
Yep.
So
Oh,
I'm a
shit.
prisoner here. Great. Just wonderful. So that's how they set it up. And then the whole, like the whole first meeting between him and Daenerys,
I loved it.
I got this kind of like...
There's an
like,
awkward tension in the room.
Yeah.
awkward tension, but I got this feeling where it's like, Daenerys, you're a fucking bitch.
Whoa.
She was
That's
being
what
a-
I was getting.
She was kind of being a harsh bitch.
And I mean, it all ended after it's like, shit, I just lost my armada. Fuck, I just lost the Dornish army. Then shit came down to level. But at first I was getting like, man, if I was Jon Snow, I'd just be like, fucking, I'm out of here. I'll swim back.
But he knows the stakes. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, he goes in there, and again, he knows the army of the dead. And it's just if nothing changes, like they can play their who wants to be the ruler of the Seven Kingdoms.
Children playing a game.
Call them all children. I mean, it was.
not fair.
I got
On the
called
one
a
hand,
child.
on the one hand, he is super naive. I mean, he knows it too, and it's like I'm a fool for going south again. Like I didn't learn the lesson, but
Yeah.
like the just walking there and trying to make people understand that there's an undead army coming
Yeah.
down. I need your help. I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Like, and that was totally like her thing. Even hey, come on, you can't walk in a door never meeting someone and try to
Yeah.
convince them of that.
Right? Something
that-
that no one thinks exists is going on. You're trying to tell them, it's happening. It's north of the wall. You should just take my word for it. I'm
Yeah.
a complete stranger to you.
And that's why Tyrion, to me, is the best person within that whole relationship, because he could kind of play both sides and kind of be like, hey,
Yeah.
this is going on over there. Because, like, at the end of the episode, or the end of that arc for this episode, we saw him talking to Daenerys, and he's like, hey, he wants this dragon glass. You didn't even know it was fucking here. Like, why not just give it to him?
It's useless if he
And
if
then-
he needs it for nothing.
Like, give it to him. be on good terms, and then if we ever need him, you can call him for a favor because, hey, remember when I gave you that dragon glass? Remember when I did a solid for you?
Yep.
Now you got to do a solid for me. And it's like I was at that point, like, just give him the dragon glass because Jon needs it to defeat the White Walkers.
No, I mean that's an awesome relationship. Like it's, he needs him, or I'm sorry, Jon needs Daenerys, Daenerys needs Jon, and like at first it was Daenerys, the alliance wasn't there, so she's coming off hard. She's like, look, you got to respect me, understand where I'm coming from,
and my
understand
10 titles,
my 10 titles, and what I deserve in life for being me. And like the intro of all the titles, and then Sir Davos just being like, it's Jon Snow, King of the North.
King of the North. But even after that, when he stepped in, one of the better, I'm going to say, interactions is he's listing off all these things. It's like, he died, or he took a knife in the heart for his men, and Jon Snow looked at him like, dude, ex-nay on the killing nay.
I'm not undead.
Yeah, no one needs to know that I came back from the dead. They're kind of our enemy, and I'm kind of trying to sell her on that. But how do you think this whole thing's going to play out between Daenerys and Jon Snow?
You know what?
Because we saw Daenerys riding a dragon in the next time on Game of Thrones.
Next time on Game of Thrones. I think she's more so going on her dragon to attack Euron's army / save what's left of her Unsullied.
What she said she was going to do?
Yeah, I think that's more so what it's going to be because she's giving Jon a few guys to mine out the dragon glass and take it because, as Tyrion said, it's useless to you. And if Jon actually needs it for whatever his thing, if his thing's true, then it's useful to him. If not, he's got something worth nothing.
Wants to fight his mystical creatures with your glass from the ground? Go ahead, have it.
Yes.
It's no sweat off their back. But
exactly.
The whole situation with The Rock and everything Tyrion's planned now has just failed horribly. I mean, how much more good faith does he have, I wonder? Because, he tells him, okay, we're going to send the fleet off. Half of our fleet's go this way. We're going to pick up the Dornish army. That got ransacked by Euron. Hilarious to watch. And, the whole situation went down. And then the other half, the Unsullied, went to go take Castle Rock back. And that was a total setup.
Dude, I didn't even think, after, and this kind of plays into the Jaime Lannister thing we were talking about, but when he, I think he said it to Lady Tyrell, and he goes, hey, you know what? Robb Stark did this to me. I guess you learn a few things in failure. And my mind just went, holy shit, I totally forgot Robb Stark even did that.
So did I.
To Jaime, to where even when Grey Worm was like, where's the rest of the Lannister army? And you just see them marching. All three of us are like, holy shit, are they marching on Dragon? Are they marching on Daenerys right now?
Yeah.
Is the end of this episode going to be, hey, we're setting up the war.
We're at the front door.
Yeah, we're setting up the war for the next episode. But no, it was marching on the Tyrells, which, yet again, we're cutting off another head of the dragon, per se. And also, when Cersei was to the visitor from Bravos, she goes,
the Iron Bank,
give me 2 weeks.
Give me a fortnight.
I get your money. I'll get it. And
Lannister always pays their debts.
What do we see before we see Jaime? Just a couple crates of gold.
Yeah, I mean it's
just a whole carriage,
I love that conversation between her and the representative from the Bank of Bravos. The Iron Bank guy. I love his character purely. It's a very small interaction, but the way she handles it is exactly like her father, and he even says it.
Yeah,
he's you are. Spot on.
That even goes into something that Tyrion says to Jon that I thought of when him and Jon are, what would you say? Did you say brooding?
Yes.
It's you're brooding better than I am, and you're making me feel bad.
I feel like I'm failing at brooding.
But he says a line to Jon where he says, neither of us are our fathers.
Yep.
And good for that. That made me think of that conversation because I'm like, yeah, but Cersei is.
That's true.
Cersei is just like her father. And that's bad for you.
No, that's absolutely right.
Because everything
that's bad for everyone.
Because everything she was saying was hey, I'm gonna pay my debt. I'm gonna get the money. I'm good for it.
Who are you gonna bet on?
Yeah, and that's when he's like, we don't bet, we do this. And she goes, okay, a fancy way to say betting or hedging your bets, kind of a thing. And even the way she's like, what are you gonna go with this girl that says she's the promised queen? Are you gonna go with who you know? Who you know? We pay our debts. You know what you're gonna get from us. Yeah. And now I can't wait to see what comes of Daenerys, because think of this. She got another head cut off her army, so she doesn't have the Dornish army. Her fleet, her navy is taken away from her. She doesn't have the Tyrells.
Nope.
Now,
The Unsullied.
And the Unsullied are basically at Casterly Rock.
Well, they're pretty. I'd say a lot of them.
Died. Like
You got a good chunk that's
even
gone.
Tyrion said in his description of the fight, he said a lot will die in the storming the walls and putting up the ladder.
What did you think of that? Like the way they showed, like
I
it's
loved
just
it.
Tyrion reading
I loved
through,
it.
like in
I
his
liked
mind,
it.
this is exactly how it's going to go.
I loved
and
it.
then like it's just perfectly portrayed.
I
Yeah.
loved it.
I thought that was a great way to show it.
No, and I love how, because that even played into the kind of back door where he's like, well, my dad told me to build the sewers, and like that. Then you get the, perfect. That's how
Yep.
they were
He
able
was
to
always
get
bragging
in
about that too.
and take Casterly Rock, but then they flip it on you, and it's like Jaime took the army, and they're no longer there. But now that Daenerys has lost all that, this kind of goes back to something that we heard Lady Tyrell say to Daenerys, I want to say it was in the last episode, and is this going to force Daenerys to think like this, of like, you're a dragon, you're the mother of dragons, be a dragon.
She may be forced to do that. That's the thing. It's not really like she can't really choose whether or not to do it. She's kind of being forced into a corner. And what are you going to do? You're going to pull out your big guns at that point.
Because what else does she have?
Exactly. But we also got to worry about now. She pulled out the big guns. Well, Cersei's got a fire extinguisher for her.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
That preview of the ridiculously huge crossbow.
Yeah, the crossbow
the bolt
arrow.
that just goes right through a
And then
dragon
they have
skull.
blacksmiths working on it. So it's not like, oh, well, this is the only thing we have right now.
Yeah.
Well, and she even mentioned it to the representative from the Iron Bank.
Yeah.
That we
In
got
this
something to
episode,
deal
They're
with
not
it.
invincible.
She's like, yeah, you know what? They're not what people seem they are. Like, they're
Yeah.
not undefeatable. They're not like the big old thing in the sky that no one can defeat.
She's got
We got
dragons.
away.
We got something for that.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because like Daenerys came into this being like, we're gonna do this the right way. We're gonna Westeros the army. We're gonna go through the nation, get them on our side. And we're not gonna massacre the people. I want the people to be better off for me being their leader. Now all of her options are being cut off left and right.
Do you
and
think
now
she's going to
just
have to? Do you think she's going to have to be Mad Queenish and just demolish everybody?
Right now, I think she's got to go in there like Firestorm and just absolutely melt a battlefield. Like that's they've gotten rid of all of her other options. I mean, she really doesn't have that much of an army. She's got the Dothraki horde with her, but outside of that, like she has no one else.
Does she have the 7 sons, or they left her?
They left them in Slaver's Bay.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
So-
So she just has the Dothraki and what's left of the Unsullied.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that even in their conversations with her and Jon Snow, she even mentioned, she's like, oh, so you're not going to bend a knee. You're saying you're king of the North. So you're basically she's like, you're my enemy.
Straight conflict
Yeah.
because there are 7 kingdoms and the North is one of them, and I am ruler of the 7
ruler
kingdoms.
Of the 7 kingdoms, yeah.
No, but I liked how quick the attitude changed as soon as you saw
Varys walk in.
just like from the back of the room. It was like that awkward, like when you're in school and like the teacher opens the door, someone's got to know, like everybody's just looking at him. And it's just like da-da-da, and then it's like turns around, and it's like, all right, what? You know what? We'll be back in like tomorrow.
How
you
rude
take a
of
bath,
me.
you know?
Take a bath, have some food.
Just
I
a
was
total
rude.
change of that.
Well, I mean,
dynamic.
you bring up Varys. What about the conversation between him and
Melisandre?
Melisandre, where basically he's like, hey, you know what? You better leave Westeros because, it might be unsafe. Very like Italian mob-esque, I thought.
It might be
like,
unsafe for you to be here.
Yeah, you're like, you stay here. So don't go down any back alleys or something's going to happen to you. But then she hits him with the line that gives him like ghost pale face where she's like, well, I've got to come back to die. And so do you.
Yeah.
And then just kind of walks off and he's just like,
he's got that
what
1,000-yard
the-
stare like
what the fuck does
what-
that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how would you feel if someone came up to you and said, well, I have to come back in this die to land just like you will? What?
And,
Do you-
she's known for her,
Do you
like,
even think she
foresight.
means anything by that? Or is that just her fucking with him?
I think she actually has something behind that. I think there is a reason because remember,
'Cause we know
she sees
she's-
in the fire, she sees the future.
We know that she's missed on prophecies before.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. How easy we none of us know how easy it is for a prophecy to come true. But it seems like she doesn't believe Daenerys is the one that the prophecy is about.
Right.
She's like, oh, you're just playing a hand in the Lord of Lights game.
I think if there's a side that she's on, it's Jon's side.
Yeah.
Right now she seems to show a lot of favor. But of course she can't actually talk to him again because of the way things were left off, which is another crazy dynamic. And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I think we see her again in season 8, but I think like up to that point where she's just gonna be like ghost, and it'll be like.
So you think she's done with season? Like we're not gonna see her at all the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think she'll make a return for season 8, and when everything's hitting the fan, you know. But like, just that whole dynamic of Varys and like. He is, you know, everybody is a spy for him. He knows everything. And that's what he prides himself on is he knows everything. He knows what you want. He knows that before you even know that.
Because of his little birds.
And then all of a sudden and she just goes, you're going to die here. And it's just like, oh.
But I didn't know that.
We're like waiting for him to be like, got any details on that one?
Yeah, because he wants to know more about it.
Yeah.
I was
I like
waiting,
knowing everything.
I was waiting the whole time because me and you were talking a lot before the episode.
True.
Before Johnny came back from his reunion, and it was basically the thing that I was waiting for this episode was because Jon was with Daenerys. I'm thinking, when's Varys going to tell him? When's Varys going to tell him about Littlefinger?
Yeah.
About how Littlefinger betrayed Ned, and that's why Ned died.
Yeah.
Well, part of the reason why Ned died.
I really hope
because
he
Littlefinger
does.
betrayed him. Well, even with Littlefinger, he was talking to Sansa, and even you said while we were watching, he goes, "You're not supposed to be doing that.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be talking to her."
Peter, you're not supposed to be talking to her. John's not gonna be happy with that.
But again, it showed Sansa knowing what she's doing. She's you know telling people exactly what they need to know.
Yep.
She was like taking a walk through the fort, and it just showed like she's
How
a
much
solid
food
leader.
we
She
need.
understands how to play the game as a ruler in the North, and it's just kind of interesting that like he tries to just give her a little bit of tidbit of help, and like she's just on him. But then the last thing he said to her, I thought that was actually really interesting to give you a lot of insight into the way that he thinks, and that's everyone is your enemy. Everyone's your friend. You have to play out every situation in your head, and you'll never be surprised. And I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I mean, it's basically just
But that's
like,
how he is.
yeah, it's understanding that like he's thought this out, like the way it's going to go down a million different ways. And he's just trying to hedge his bets on like which way is it more likely to go down. And it's just kind of interesting to see like him tell her that, because then what is he kind of inferring to her, I wonder?
Don't
like,
put all your eggs in the Jon Snow basket.
Yeah.
That's basically what is that the way you see it?
I'm genuinely curious because I don't know exactly where he was going with it, but I just thought it was like a good piece of advice from him and a lot of insight into the way he thinks.
Remember, his main goal though is to be on the Iron Throne, so that he's like trying to. He's ready for every plan. Like he's got contingency on top of contingency on top of contingency. But then it's like, well, I mean, all those contingencies, I'm going to find the one that leads to me being on the Iron Throne, which I doubt he's going to make it there.
Yeah, and
He's
said
still holding
that.
out love too for Sansa.
Sansa, that's
Like,
true.
He definitely still is crushing on her. So
Yeah, and I mean, he's even said what you said way back in earlier seasons of like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get on the Iron Throne. But even like with Winterfell, while Jon's gone, we get that, but also Bran returns.
Yes.
Well,
Bran is back, and he's kind of he had a weird sit down with Sansa where it's like, she's like, well, you're the king of the North.
Yep.
You are the rightful heir because you are Ned's true son. And when he's like, no, I'm the three-eyed raven, and she goes, the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?
What the hell's a three-eyed raven?
And he basically was like, yeah, I'm going to prove it. The one thing that probably haunts you to this day that no one knows about, yeah, I'm going to bring it up.
and just the details of it too. And
It was a beautiful snowy night,
Kind of like right now.
just like you.
yep, it was just
What?
like she was like, and I'm leaving.
And I need to go. And he's like,
Oh.
I'll stay here.
But like he had no emotion. Like when he showed up, like you could see on her face, she's so happy to see him
And
again.
he's just like, hey,
and he's just dead face.
panned, just nothing.
Yeah, it was just kind of like, I know he's seen some shit. And
Is
like,
that is that why? Do you think it's because he knows what's coming and he's more concerned about that than anything else?
Yeah,
Then like I'm not going to take enjoyment in being reunited with my sister because if the White Walkers get here, it doesn't matter. We're dead.
I mean, seeing clips of the future, the past, and knowing, like, and then, like we talked about, it's clips. Seeing just clips of the future, seeing clips of the past, and seeing clips of everything that's going on. Do you think you can really take enjoyment and emotions and everything, or are you just over flooded with everything, and you already know, like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what's going on.
He's new to it too. Like
He's new.
Says,
He's
I need
learning.
to get better at.
And that's
this.
the thing is like he only saw clips of it, so well he doesn't. I think the thing killing him right now is he doesn't know everything, like how to stop this because he's only seen bits and pieces.
Yeah,
and it's just like I need to figure out how to stop this. I need to figure out how to make this okay. And like I don't know if there's an answer to that, but like he is just completely his mind is away from everything else right now.
let me put it this way: do you think he's ever going to have the emotion back? Because I feel like he's going to be stone faced forever.
I think so too. That's the way I would lean.
That's what I'm feeling. Just because
it's kind of like once you cross that threshold, it's hard to go back.
yeah.
Definitely.
It's kind of like with people who they deal with like true anger. Once you cross that threshold into the anger, it's so impossible to reel you back into a calm state. So, I mean, and the one thing that I'm thinking of is, does he know exactly everything about Jon Snow?
Yeah, he heard
knows enough.
He heard Jon Snow's name and he heard whatever oh god, his mom said to him. I forget the name. But yeah. And it's just like Ned's sister said to Ned, and so he understands the context of who Jon Snow is. It's just the question of like, is he going to tell Jon?
Him? Do you guys think he's going to tell him?
Yeah.
He didn't.
I think
he didn't tell Sansa.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Sansa doesn't need to know
Sansa's.
because he's saying I need to talk to Jon.
True.
So
Yeah.
it's like I think he's like I need to tell him this because he's the one that needs to be in charge of everything because he's like he knows he's king of the North at this point, but it's like he needs to know that he's the true heir and he needs to be in charge of everything.
Dude, speaking of that, when Daenerys was all like, you know, Robert Baratheon, wanted to kill me in my crib, I'm sitting there going, bitch, Ned Stark saved him. If he wouldn't have died, like if Ned wouldn't have saved him, Baratheon would have killed Jon Snow too.
Yeah.
And you don't even know that.
Yep.
You don't know that. Like, and I'm sitting there like thinking, of course, we're sitting there beyond the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he's a Targaryen. Like, he's a Targaryen too. He is just like you. You are not the only one.
But my favorite part with that is like she's kind of reaming him out, and then Davos jumps on her. It's like he was a bastard. He has no right to any of this. He earned his right. He got, and then that's where the titles come in.
Yeah.
He was
he was Lord Commander.
Lord
of the
Commander of
Night's
the Night's Watch. He became King of the North.
He befriended the wildlings and brought them south of the wall.
Like,
United all the Northerners.
Because she brought up I'm the first one to
bring the Dothraki over.
Bring the Dothraki over, and that's why he was
Yeah.
like, well, he's the first one to bring that alliance between the wildlings
And the
Northerns.
And I love the little games about like the history between the two of them. It was like, well, your great-great-grandfather said he would be on our side forever. And he's like, yeah, well, your dad, so sort of murdered, a couple people in our family and tried to murder everyone in existence.
Yeah.
So how about we hold it on the history there,
Yeah.
Well, and even in that kind of exchange, I found it funny that she's like, well, your great-grandfather said that he would pledge to us forever.
Yep.
But once Jon Snow brought up that, she's like, well, don't punish me for my father. It's like,
right? The hypocrisy right there.
Then you can't fucking tell him that he needs to bow a knee just because his great-grandfather did.
Yep.
Like,
Exactly.
jeez.
No,
like, I saw,
it
like
was
you
so
said, the
good.
hypocrisy there.
That's why I like he just puts it on the table. It's like, you know what? I'm not gonna judge you for what your father did, but I'm not gonna bend a knee to you.
like, I don't
I
know
owe
you.
you nothing.
Yeah. He doesn't know her. He doesn't owe her.
Anything you guys think we missed that we did not talk about or that you think you want to talk about going into I got it. Last thing I want to talk about is, did we mention in the next time on Game of Thrones that we actually saw
on Game of Thrones,
we actually saw Daenerys riding
the dragon.
a dragon, and I know you mentioned earlier that she's gonna go and kind of go after Euron's fleet.
I'll be honest. I did put it as she's going to save Grey Worm, but yeah, in the sense of she's going to burn the hell out of Euron's fleet.
I cannot wait to see somebody
Something with a dragon?
ride a dragon.
Yeah.
Not just ride a dragon.
Well, she did ride a dragon once
Yeah,
already.
you know
so.
what I mean, though.
But
Yeah, in Westeros,
Yeah,
though.
I wanna
in
see
Westeros, when the
something-
stakes are on the line.
I want to
Dave.
see shit go down with the dragon.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you lose, Dave.
And my thing is like the only thing we didn't talk about really in my mind is the Samuel and Jorah side story.
Wow, yeah, no, that's important.
Go ahead.
I mean, so
He's going back.
George's going home, maybe if they're still there, and Samuel literally cured having the dragon scale on
Yep.
it. Like that is crazy. And of course, Sam's like, well, you could have screwed over the entire thing of
The Citadel.
The Citadel.
But
Thank
you didn't.
But you didn't. So yeah, that's cool. Good job. But go ahead and copy some more books. Like nothing special.
Wait, you wanted a reward? Oh, your reward is that I'm not kicking you out of here.
Exactly.
Now get to work. They like be careful of the bugs. They like flesh just as much as they like paper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Johnny's eyes were like, whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just love
no.
the little interactions between Jorah and Sam
Do you
because
think
Yeah.
Jorah's going back to Daenerys?
Oh, yeah.
He is.
Like when he not is he, but when he goes back to Daenerys, is Daenerys going to be as accepting? Because didn't
Yeah.
she say, "Get out of here"?
she banished him until first she banished him, then he came back anyway, saved her life again, and then she told him, "Don't return until you find a cure."
Okay, and now he did.
So
Found
he
a
got
cure.
the cure, and then now he's coming back home.
He's going to go back to Daenerys, and we'll see how he plays in
Yep.
to everything. Maybe Tyrion won't be coming up with a lot more plans because maybe Tyrion will say something, and Jorah will be, because out of everyone, Varys, like Grey Worm, Jorah would be the one to be like, I don't think that's a good idea.
They butted heads a little bit.
They
I
did.
think
He was-
this is
didn't
a
get
better
along with
idea.
them.
Same as Sandy, and yeah.
And what might be funny is if he says, no, this isn't a good idea, Tyrion goes to say something. If Daenerys goes, well, I've been listening to you the whole time, and your plans have failed horribly, so let's try what Jorah wants to do.
Yeah. Now, do you think Jorah may... Because do you think maybe Jorah and Samuel had an exchange about Jon, and Jorah might say, you may need to back Jon a little bit?
No, I don't think they had an exchange about Jon at all.
No.
I
Or
think their
anything?
exchange was strictly grayscale.
Okay.
Unless you're different.
No, I just had a crazy thought though.
Okay,
No,
hit
Because
me.
I just realized that the only other thing we didn't talk about was how Theon got saved.
Oh.
And then guess
I
where
tried-
they're going back to? If they go back to Dragonstone and Theon and Jon meet again for the first time since
the
everything
beginning?
has gone down, like how do you think that's going to go down? Because technically Theon did save Sansa, but he also betrayed the Starks.
He did.
Yeah.
I mean, like there's a scale there. Sansa can forgive him, like maybe.
I just love the line of, I tried to save her. No, you didn't, because if you did, you'd be dead.
Yep.
Like,
It's
like even my heart was like, oh, Theon, I want the redemption arc so badly.
he still has a chance. Still has a chance.
Theon.
That's going to be a weird meeting.
Yara's not dead yet.
That's going to be a weird meeting if Jon and Theon actually.
Yeah.
Well, I think they will.
Because what if Jon just leaves in time and then Theon comes
Oh,
back?
I hope they don't tease us like that.
No,
I want to see
I would
Jon
love
and
it.
Theon. Because I think Theon would be good to be around Jon. I think that's kind
Do you
of.
think Jon would forgive him?
I think he would because Sansa forgave him.
Okay.
So like, if Sansa can forgive him,
Well,
I
because
think
he
Jon
saved
can.
Sansa
Yeah.
too from Ramsay.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that one works out pretty well. And the other thing is the fact that Yara's still alive.
Yeah.
Didn't get handed over to Cersei.
No.
So what's Euron gonna do with her?
Whatever he pleases, I think.
Which scares me a wee bit.
That scares me a lot. I feel for her.
Poor thing.
Like,
I mean,
just from the line
that leash.
when he pulls her close and he talks about how it's giving him a hard on. I was like, okay, that's your niece there, buddy. That's your niece.
well, I mean, we've had worse.
We've had brother sister. So
Yeah,
I mean,
you can't get much worse than that.
I fear for like that. Like you described him best, Johnny, as we were watching. It's kind of like a who'd you describe him
Oh,
as? I'm
crap. I
forgetting.
just forgot.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
Negan.
Negan. Where you're like, you love to hate him, but you hate to love him, kind of a thing.
He is a douche. The biggest douche you've ever met.
But he plays it well.
He's so fucking charismatic.
So good at it, and he's so like literally he took down both ends of Daenerys' army within like
cut
a
off two
matter
heads out
of
of three.
yeah within a matter of like two scenes. So I mean, come on, he's everywhere.
Yeah.
everywhere.
Oh, you you can't help but like admire what he's doing, but at the same time you're like, dude, you are an asshole. But we're gonna wrap up. This has actually been our longest reaction. I'm gonna blame Dave.
Yeah, I would blame me.
Thanks,
I talk
Dave.
a lot.
Adding the third person always makes it go a little bit longer, and we had a nice discussion here. You guys are looking at our logo because sooner or later we'll get it right, and the camera will stay alive for an entire Game of Thrones reaction. But I want to thank you guys for tuning in for the episode 3 reaction. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comment section. What are your predictions for episode 4? We will be back next week at the conclusion of episode 4 to give you guys more thoughts and reactions to Game of Thrones. I want to thank you guys for listening, and as always, have a good day, everybody.